What we've made it very clear is we want an independent assessment made of anything which we can learn from the Japanese experience as part of our own new build programme. Dr. Mike Waitman, who heads up the Nuclear Installations Inspectorate, was there as well, and he set out how his programme will be going forward. I think what we're looking at is saying that as we look at the specific sites which could be used for new build nuclear, as we look at the particular reactor designs which are being proposed, are there any lessons which we can learn from what has happened in Japan in order to make sure that safety is always our top priority? So that we're absolutely right, I think, at this time when we've got these two very important work streams going on, to make sure that if there are lessons we can learn, that we've done so. Well, at the moment, Dr. Waitman, the independent regulator, has contacted all of the plants this week with a whole series of questions about safety issues, and they've all come back to him, and he's satisfied that everything is in place which needs to be in place. That, of course, we should recognise that there's a great deal of what's happened in Japan which is not applicable to Britain. The greatest earthquake we've ever seen here in Britain was 130,000 times less powerful than the one which we've seen in Japan. And so the circumstances which has caused these catastrophic problems in Japan could not be replicated here in Britain in the same way. But of course there are issues in terms of plant being on the coast, of flooding issues, of terrorist issues, and these have got to be evaluated properly. They constantly have been evaluated properly, but if there are additional lessons which we can learn, we are of course determined that we should. I think there are particular domestic reasons why the German government has been nervous about nuclear power. I think we're looking at a very different situation in Britain, that we have seen a significant amount of potential interest here as part of a low-carbon future of building new nuclear plants. But as I said, that they must be based on safety. Safety is our number one criteria and our overriding concern. We think nuclear has a very important role to play going forward, but it will only be done if the safety case makes it clear. We've seen that there are potential interruptions to oil and gas flows, and that we've got to try and make sure that as we look at the future structure of our energy market, which largely has to be rebuilt over the course of the next 10 to 15 years, that we do that in a way that looks at our own resources, does it in a low carbon way, and protects consumers in the process against very widely fluctuating prices. So I think this has been a very important reminder to us of the vulnerability of the world's energy supplies, and as we look at the right structure for Britain going forward, then I think that it reinforces our view that the low carbon direction is right, looking at our own resources is right, and also having a balanced portfolio of different technologies, and so that we can actually ensure that we are protected against shocks anywhere in that system.